Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines here. Circle having trouble holding the peg. They've slipped. It's collapsed. We see more trouble going on with Silicon Valley Bank. It's not just Silvergate. This is the first one to fall. We got a lot of implications of what it means for stable coins and crypto. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $961 billion market cap for cryptocurrency. We're back under $1 trillion. 20,000 just slightly over for Bitcoin right now. 1428 and change for Ethereum. Tether market cap is $72.1 billion. Looks like we're seeing a consolidation into Tether during all of this downturn here. USDC is at $36.9 billion, and you can see their peg went right to the floor here. We'll see what's going on here, but XRP is 36 cents, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. 55 days left until XRP Las Vegas 2023. Come on in. This is your opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, right here to get your ticket for Friday, get your ticket for Saturday. I'm telling you, get your special room rate right here and look at the amazing people. Jeremy Hogan, virtual appearance, Jack McDonald, CEO of PolySign, Nancy Beaton, Uphold, Chief Revenue Officer. It is just incredible. John Deaton, the founder of Crypto Law, representing all retail investors at this point, not just 75,000 XRP holders. Eleanor Tarrant, journalist from Fox. Otto Nito from Sologenic. Very excited to speak with him, and so many more. Let me tell you, click the link and get your ticket before they are gone. This is a reminder right here that Link2 will be at the conference as well. And right now this weekend, they're running the $5,000 weekend minimums. I may have to take a swing at that. Click the link on that. Check out my sponsor. Look at this. Crypto is dangerous. We have to trust the banking system. Oh, wait. Nerd Nation has shared here a list of the banking system, and none of it looks good. And we know that we've got massive news to talk about today, so let's get into it. We heard the information that happened here. Silicon Valley Bank is now the next victim to fall here, to a bank run here is what we're looking at. They're saying basically the first bank to fall outside of Silvergate, right? Just a regular bank doing regular business. And the president and CEO of the collapsed Silicon Valley Bank, Greg Becker, was a Class A director at the San Francisco Federal Reserve. I have to tell you, I think we know what the problem is. You don't have to be an economist to figure out what's going on here. It's, this is a mess, and it only gets worse. But don't worry. Janet Yellen says the Treasury is monitoring a few banks amid issues at the SVB, which is Silicon Valley Bank, for those that are not aware. We're monitoring it. Well, I think we're going to find out a plan today. Now, I'm not going to play this gentleman here, but he basically says all of this is the Fed's fault, causing the bank run. And then he says it's likely that the Fed will eventually, sometime this year, have to cut rates by 100 basis points by December, he says. We'll keep an eye out for that. So, look, this is just going to get bigger and messier is what that really leads into for me. And let's take a look at this from the recent fallout from the SVP, Silicon Valley Bank here. Prominent crypto VC firm A16, 35 billion assets under management, is banked by SVB, according to its website. SVB has also invested in crypto-friendly VC fund Sequoia. Still unclear how much exposure either of them have. She says, I should add here, I've reached out to A16Z for comment and haven't heard back yet. Unclear if Sequoia is backed by SVB Financial. It lists them as an investment recipient of on SBV's site. So we shall see what is more to come to that. But I have something for you that I believe reveals exactly where this is going. And obviously that question led further to, who else is involved? And everyone has been asking on social media does Ripple have exposure to SVB during this bank run? And David Schwartz was kind enough to respond and says, we're going to issue a statement. I can't really say anything until we do that officially. So that's where we are there, and we're hoping for the best on that as far as exposure to Ripple. We shall see. However, Coinbase has had some exposure here. They say basically because USDC is with SVB, this is how cascading it gets here, right? We're temporarily pausing USDC conversions to USD over the weekend while banks are closed. During periods of heightened activity, conversions rely on USD transfers to the banks that clear during normal banking hours. When banks open Monday, we plan to recommence conversions. So in other words, we don't want to be doing these tallied conversions, not knowing what the situation's going to be like Monday morning when the bank opens up. I think Quad Jack's here from Casino Coin, who will be at XRP Las Vegas, said just delist USDC and ETH like you did with XRP. Problem solved. Well, you got to love it when they hit home. And obviously this here from Circle themselves saying, following the confirmation at the end of today that the wires initiated on Thursday to remove balances were not yet processed, $3.3 billion worth of the $40 billion of USDC reserves remain at SVB. Like other customers and depositors who relied on SVB for banking services, Circle joins calls for continuity of this important bank in the United States economy and will follow guidance provided by the state and federal regulators. Look, I think this sets a tone, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take you to this. Check this out. Now, this is a clip from last summer. And this clip becomes extremely important today. I need to play the whole clip for you. I need you to be patient and stay with me through it, because I'm going to take you to something else. And I believe before you leave this video today, you are going to see exactly what they are jockeying for. And I tell you this, remember while you're watching this video, we now know in hindsight, we now know while this hearing was going on, and Elizabeth Warren is grilling Nellie Liang, the Under Treasurer Secretary to Janet Yellen, about FSOC. I want you to be aware that while you're watching this, know that at that time, Gary Gensler at the SEC was meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX and turning a blind eye to the dumpster fire that was their company, FTX, and awarding them a broker-dealer license on top of it. Take a listen to this clip.
Stable coins and applying the appropriate regulations to reduce run risk and the potential for them to scale up quickly.
So are you, just let me remind you what my question is. Do they pose the threat of becoming a systemic risk?
Of becoming a systemic risk, yes.
Yes, they do. I agree that the stablecoin market poses significant risks and that Congress and our regulators need to contain these risks. And that is where you come in. You advise the Financial Stability Oversight Council, FSOC, and you sometimes sit in these meetings as Secretary Yellen's substitute. FSOC's job, according to Treasury's website, is, quote, identifying emerging threats to financial stability and coordinate regulatory actions to address them, end quote. So, under Secretary Lang, if you believe that stablecoins are a serious emerging threat to our financial system, then have you advised FSOC to use the tools that Congress gave it specifically to mitigate threats before they get out of hand?
So FSOC, as you say, has the responsibility to identify risks to financial stability. It is discussing these issues. It does convene the regulators. They have been discussing consumer protection and investor protection, illicit finance, and taking steps to assess what risks and what authorities regulators have. Made some recommendations.
So you are moving at least in that direction? Is that what you're telling me? I want to make sure I just understand your testimony here today.
Yes, the PWG is making recommendations, and they complement the existing authorities that regulators have.
Well,
the SEC, the CFTC, and the banking regulators are issuing guidance carefully about how banks should
I understand about the other regulators. I'm asking about FSOC because I don't want monitoring to be a way to just avoid doing your job. In your testimony before the House Financial Services last week, you suggested that FSOC should not and would not act ahead of Congress. That's something the crypto industry might find comforting, but it is not consistent with FSOC's mission. Did you misstate something last week?
So what I intended to say, I did see that, is FSOC has a responsibility to look at the tools it has.
Well, not just to look, but to use.
They can apply. And the situation is developing very quickly. And so how different tools would apply is a bit difficult to prejudge how they would be used.
Okay, but you are willing to use them ahead of Congress?
If that is the case and is assessed that they are a systemic risk that needs to be addressed.
Well, not that they are a systemic risk. Remember what it says on the website, before that risk has reached fruition. You know, I worry that you're approaching the crypto market with blinders on. You talk a lot about the benefits of stable coins, benefits that have been promised for years and that have still not materialized. And all the while, you are not talking about the risks that are flashing bright red in our faces here. Congress needs to put guardrails around crypto, and I'm writing a bill to do just that. But there's no reason to delay. Pointing a finger at Congress does not give you or FSOC the right to ignore your current statutory responsibilities. Thank you.
I tell you, the condescending arrogance of that human being is just unbelievable. But you know what? It's not just her. Remember, again, while that was happening, her buddy, Gary Gensler, who she was feeding questions and answers to and apologizing to, and I hope I wasn't too hard on you. You know, that's what was going on while all of this was taking place. The political posturing to be able to do what they're about to do. That's exactly what I believe we're seeing. And I believe they're going to use this moment to stand on while they do it. Here's Michael S. Barr, former Ripple advisor, former U.S. Treasury official, sitting now at the VP spot Federal Board of Governors, and listen to what he says about stable coins.
You know, you can have multiple competing forms of private money that are inefficient. You can have very large forms of private money that end up being quite destabilizing. You know, you can think of a stable coin as a completely unregulated money market fund attached to a payments rail, and that combination is quite explosive, and more importantly, that are inefficient. You can have very large forms of private money that end up being quite destabilizing. You know, you can think of a stable coin as a completely unregulated money market fund attached to a payments rail, and that combination is quite explosive, potentially quite dangerous. And that's why Chair Powell has made this clear. Vice Chair Brainerd, when she was at the Fed, made this clear. I've made it clear that stable coins really do need to have prudential oversight, prudential supervision.
Prudential oversight, prudential supervision. Well, let me help you out with that. This is FSOC's website right here. This is what you need to know. And when you come down here, you see the Dodd-Frank Act, for which Michael S. Barr was an architect thereof at his time at the Treasury, then leaving and becoming a Ripple advisor. Now back at went to a university, now at the VP Board of Governors for the Fed, working on crafting stablecoin regulations. Systemically important designations, known as SIFMUs or SIFMEs, right? Designated FMUs, financial market utilities, will become subject to heightened prudential and supervisory provisions of Title VIII. Isn't that what he just said? Promote robust risk management, safety, and soundness, including conducting their own operations in compliance with applicable risk management standards, providing advance notice and review of changes to their rules, procedures, and operations that can materially affect the nature of the level of their risk, and being subject to relevant examination and enforcement provisions. Here are some of the entities that are currently systemically important. A lot of these entities you recognize because they're in the same field and range of payment settlement industry, custody, that PolySign and Ripple are built to serve. Don't believe it, it's still true. And when it comes to Circle, we're talking about a retail digital dollar. So my question is what we're seeing here really setting the stage and the tone for FSOC to come in and deem something like maybe USDC as systemic risk and make it systemically important and control it as a retail-facing digital dollar for the United States. It's hard to say what will happen, but it certainly sounds like to me Michael S. Barr is saying that stablecoins broadly, not just USDC, should fall under FSOC. Here's a quick clip right here from Elizabeth Warren's daughter and her podcast and show, and a tech expert telling you that Ripple is going to make disruption in the payment industry. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. We love it.
And then we have some more obvious ones, which are just obvious, business use cases, payments, banking and payments. We've seen Ripple, already, started to disrupt kind of, payments and banking transactions a little bit. And there's a lot of other ways to do that. We're, even PayPal and Visa's talking about, disrupting kind of payments. But the real benefit, the last few years has been on international payments. It's been moving money quickly and cheaply, across borders. And I think that's been one of the big benefits for business that a lot of times they don't realize it, but if they're paying an invoice from overseas, their institution or their service they use is likely already using blockchain to make that payment. And then we have some more.
That is a pretty remarkable comment right there, no doubt about it. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is getting so interesting watching all of this unfold. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. This is not financial advice. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.